So, good afternoon. This is Caroline Tapkin from Travel Daily's Inspiring Women in Travel Asia interview series. And today we're joined by Cynthia in Tokyo. Cynthia, tell us who you are and what you're doing now.
Okay, so as you can see, it's nighttime in Tokyo. I'm in
Good
my
evening.
apartment. Yes, it's good evening for me. I'm in my apartment, and what am I doing? Well, as of May last year, I am the country manager for a new brand of small hotels called Lof Hotels. That's LOF, lots of fun with lots of friends.
That sounds fantastic and very grandiose, but I know for a fact that you didn't start out in hospitality.
No, no, no. I didn't. I never studied hospitality. I didn't start out in hospitality. I didn't even know what hospitality was about until the age of 54.
54. And what were you
Yes.
doing before that? Raising your daughter?
Uh, yes. So I came to Japan as one of the Ministry of Education scholars. I studied Japanese. And then I went to work in a trading company. I got married, and we went to Liberia in Monrovia. My ex-husband is a diplomat, a Japanese diplomat. So we lived in Monrovia for 2 years. I came back and joined an advertising company. And then I stopped working at the age of 30 because I have the loveliest daughter in the world. And I wanted desperately to be her mother.
That's a noble cause, and there's no doubt there. So
Oh,
what brought you?
I so desperately wanted to concentrate on being her mother.
Yes, amazing. So what brought you into hospitality?
Yeah, so I was a mom for 17 years. And don't forget, I became a housewife because I wanted to be a mom. So when she went off to college, I couldn't be a mom anymore. There was nobody to be a mom to at home. So I decided, okay, I guess it's time to go back to work. And I went back to work in Bangkok, in the elementary school cafeteria. I did that for 3 months, and then they decided to give me the whole cafeteria of 2,500 students and teachers to manage. And I did that for 3 years, and then I moved to New York, where I studied restaurant management, and finally came back to Tokyo at the age of 52. And I
So,
couldn't find a job. I
so
was
you
too
studied,
old.
you went back to school in your 40s,
I went back to school in my 50s.
in your 50s?
I think I was 50 when I did restaurant management. It was a 6 months course.
Mm-hmm. And then you
Yeah.
moved back to
So
Tokyo.
and then we moved back to Tokyo, and I was 52 at that time. This was in 2011. A very different environment from where we are right now. I couldn't find a job. I couldn't even get to the interview. Let's put it that way. So I looked and looked. It didn't matter that I ran. I managed a cafeteria very successfully. It didn't matter that I had a restaurant management certificate. It didn't even matter that I spoke Japanese and English fluently. So I'm bilingual. It did that all didn't matter. I couldn't find a job. So I and in those days there was, job boards were not on the internet.
Mm.
I remember I went out and bought a newspaper every Monday because they had the classified ads on Monday. So that's how you look for a job way back in 2011. So I finally found a job with a club for expats. Okay, so I was at the Tokyo American Club, and I was hired as a junior banquet assistant. So, I was the assistant. I was at the bottom of the ladder. So I basically did all the stuff that nobody else wanted to do. And one of the things that people were reluctant to do were the birthday parties for kids. And I understand because it's very, it's very low revenue.
Mm.
Okay, so why do a birthday party for $15 for 1,500 yen when you can do dinner parties for 15,000 yen. Okay, so if you're in sales and you're looking at your numbers, why would you want to spend time on birthday parties, right? So being 52 at the bottom of the ladder, I figured the only way I will shine is if I did the stuff that nobody wanted to do. So no competition there, okay? I had the monopoly of whatever it is that nobody wanted to do. So I did birthday parties. And I was very good at doing birthday parties because don't forget, I was a mom. So I started out with the food menu, and then I continued adding options like the birthday cake, the ice cream, the balloon, the clown, and stuff like that. So I did that for a year, and then I was very lucky. I was able to transition to the ANA Intercontinental Tokyo. And that's because at that time, the general manager, Peter. So Peter was, he was very, he took a blind leap of faith in me and decided to believe in my potential. Okay, and he gave me a job. So Peter and Andrew at the ANA Intercontinental, really, I mean, I owe everything to them. They decided that, okay, she has no background, no experience, but she has potential. So they decided, and she said they probably thought she has potential, she has the ability to succeed. So they gave me a job, and I started out as a sales manager. So initially, I was supposed to be in charge of mice, events, because I was doing birthday parties and I was doing events at the Tokyo American Club. So they figured, okay, we'll hire her to do events. On the day that I joined, I walk into the hotel and they tell me that, the person doing corporate sales for rooms has resigned, is going to Cambodia. So you're going to take her place. So I looked at them and I thought, okay, I've left my job. There's no way I can go back there. I looked at them and I said, are you serious? I mean, let's not forget, I've never worked in the hotel industry. I've never worked in a hotel. B, I did banquets. I never sold hotel rooms. Okay. And C, I didn't know the difference between a double room and a twin room. Okay, so people were talking about double rooms and twin rooms, and I'm looking at them and I'm thinking, and I'm actually saying this to them, why is it called a double room and a twin room when you're going to have two people in the same room?
Yes.
So that's the level I was at. So they had to say, okay, a double room has one double bed and a twin room has two single beds. So that's how I started.
Really back to basics.
Yeah, really back to basics. I sat down, I learned the system. We were using the Opera. I learned to make reservations. I learned the sizes of the rooms. And I guess I'm a good student. Let's put it this way. I'm able to learn. So 1 year in the business, I achieved target. So I achieved target, and it's really nice to be in sales because nobody can argue with the numbers. Okay, so I was 54. I had no experience. The only way I can fast track my career is if I had the numbers to show. And I had the numbers. So this was really easy. So I had the numbers. So my first year, I was sales manager. My second year, I was senior sales manager. And by the third year, I was assistant director for new business development. So that was really quick. And I was doing mice. I did bigger and bigger events. And people usually say, oh, but that's you because you're very good. You're unusual, you're exceptional. And, I always say, look, obviously I'm not dumb, okay? But I'm not going to take, that I'm special or exceptional. I think I became very successful because I joined the industry in 2013. And this was when Japan's tourism industry was starting to ride, the boom. So I remember, when I said to Peter and Andrew, I have no experience. I remember them saying, but you speak English. Okay, because I was in a sea of salespeople who spoke Japanese, no English. So I remember them saying, but Cynthia, you speak English. And I figured, yeah, I guess I do speak English. And so when I had joined the industry, when I was at the hotel, that was the time when everybody wanted to hold their meetings in Japan. Mm-hmm. So every single day we would get requests for proposals, from the US, from the UK, from almost everywhere. And I quickly realized that I was the only one sending out a proposal in 24 hours because I spoke English.
Right.
So they were going to all the other hotels, and then all the other hotels couldn't even come up with a proposal. I was always there first. So, so if you're on the other end of the line, waiting for a proposal to come through, or when you're calling the hotel, or when you're writing an email and nobody's replying to you, I think by the time somebody actually replies to you, you're just so happy and you're so willing to pay whatever price they want.
And because you were understood.
Yeah, so that's the secret. My proposal was there within 24 hours of the inquiry. When they wrote an email asking, questions, they got an answer 24 hours later. So it was very easy. All I had to do was to sit there and actually answer emails.
Why do you think it was so difficult in the beginning for you to find a job?
Because I was 52 years old. I did not have a career. It's what they call I had a huge gap. I had a 17-year gap in my career. And I think it's very difficult for the professional world or for the business world to understand that people can actually, step off and have another life. And that you don't, during the 17 years I was at home. I mean, I was not, twiddling my fingers. I was doing stuff. I was raising a child. I was parenting. And in the beginning, I had this, I thought that 17 years away from the workforce, I thought that this was a handicap. So in the beginning, I felt very inferior to the people around me. But after I became successful, I thought, the 17 years I spent away actually were not a handicap. I mean, if anything, they probably worked in my favor. Because, I didn't spend 17 years in one country. I mean, my ex-husband was a diplomat. So, we lived in Monrovia. We lived in Lagos, Nigeria. We lived in New York twice. We were in Vienna. We were in Bangkok. So while I was at the hotel, when I meet people, it's very rare that I have nothing to say to them. So when I was doing sales, I was able to connect with people immediately because I had something in common with them. So this is very important. I think I was very successful because of that. So, and the more successful I became, the more I thought that, 17 years out of the workforce was definitely not a handicap for me. It was, if anything, everything really fell into my favor.
It's often just getting that foot in the door to talk to the right people, isn't it?
It is getting that foot in the door. It's having people who believe in you,
who can see beyond the tick box.
Yeah, who will pull you up and push you, push your back for you to get somewhere. And I say, so in fact, I have the way I say this in Japanese is so in Japanese they have a saying that that it's not ideal to make women wear high shoes. We have what we call the geta. It's a traditional Japanese shoes that's like double heeled.
Yes.
So I believe in quotas. I believe in quotas for putting women into the boardroom and stuff like that, because I think women need a leg up. So my argument there is people obviously gave me a leg up, gave me an advantage, and they actually held my hand until I was able to walk on my own. Okay, so it's really important that people be given be given the opportunity. So I strongly, strongly believe in this. I mean, I was very lucky that I found people who believed in me, and I don't think women have to depend on luck. I think that women have the right to this opportunity. So yeah, so all you need to do is get your foot in the door and work as hard as you can.
Do you see that changing? Do you see it improving in Japan now?
It is improving in Japan, and I would say that you know, Japan probably has an advantage. You're going to see this 5-6 years down the road. So remember how I told you when I came back in 2011 at the age of 52, I couldn't find a job. Now, don't forget, Japan is rapidly growing old. So it's a rapidly graying and declining population. So more and more women, older women, are being asked to come back to work. Okay, so now in 2011, 52 was old. These days, 52 is quite young. I mean, the last job, this job that I have right now, I was hired at the age of 62. Okay, I'm turning 63 this year, and yeah, and I found a job, and I'm sure that if I went out to the market again, I'm sure that I will find a job.
So more and more women are coming back into the workforce.
Not only are more and more women coming back, I think more and more women are coming back, and if they accelerate their careers, you know, I see a lot of women around me who are slowly getting into management positions. Okay, so I always tell the women, you know, who come and speak to me, who I mentor, that the graying population, the declining population is definitely in our favor.
So you're mentoring these days as well?
Yes. So I came out with a book, and I'm very active on social media, and I'm also very active in the regular media. And I'm often asked to speak to women, older women, women in their 40s and 50s, about going back to work. Because, and this is where I'm trying to change the mindset. See, in Japan, it's up till now, it's been jobs for life. So when people join a certain company, it's very rare that they change companies. So I think women are very reluctant to start at the bottom. Like, for example, you know, I say to women that I've given 2 hospitality classes to women who wanted to go back to work. And I tell them that, you know, don't be afraid to start from, you know, to start from being a waitress or from housekeeping, because, you know, once you get in a big hotel, it's very easy to move up because the opportunity will be there, especially because in Japan's hotel industry is notorious for its labor shortage. So as long as you have any experience, it's quite easy to move up.
I mean, that's a worldwide thing, a shortage of labor, but that's very good advice. Don't be afraid to go in at the bottom, because once your foot is in the door,
exactly,
it takes a lot to get you out.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing. I think in Japan, they're very reluctant to start at the bottom because they think that they will, you know, that they will remain at the bottom. You know, people don't change jobs. So I always say, go in, do it for a year, do it for 2 years, learn everything you can, and then change jobs. You know, I always say, you don't rise, you know, you don't go into one organization and expect to be promoted very quickly. The only way to do that, the only way to get promoted is if you change jobs. So I've changed jobs very often.
And it's gaining experience each time.
Yeah, it's gaining experience, and every time you change jobs, you negotiate your pay, you negotiate your title. That's the point of changing jobs.
Yes. And what is it that you're doing now? Lof Hotels, you said.
Yes. So I'm the country manager for Lof Hotels. Lots of friends, lots of fun, and it's a very new. It's a new brand. Our first hotel we opened our first hotel in July of last year, and then we opened our second hotel in November of last year, And we're opening our third one, Lof Hotel Kanda East, in April 1st.
April 1st. So in
Yes.
10 years, from not knowing the difference between a double room and a twin room, you are now running a chain of hotels.
Yes, we've started with 3 very small hotels. So yes, in 10 years, I didn't know the difference between a double room and a twin room, and I'm about to open our third hotel. So yeah, I learned very quickly.
And what's in the future then for you? What do you see in the next 10
Um,
years?
See, I've never, I'm not very ambitious in the sense that, my biggest achievement in life is my daughter. So, I'm like I guess I'm like, President Obama. When you've had the best job in the world and that's over, what do you do next, right? So I've had the best job and now that's over. So what do I do next? So this is the next. So I became country manager, not because I wanted to, not because I wanted to be the boss, although it's very nice being the boss because you get to make the decisions. The buck, what do they say? The
Buck
bucket,
stops here.
it stops right in front of me. And when it gets in front of me, we make a decision. It does not get postponed. So yeah, so that's very nice about being the boss. But the reason I took on this job was, when it came to me, at first I turned it down. I mean, believe it or not, I mean, here I am, I'm exuding all these self-confidence. But when I was actually offered the job, I turned it down. And very quickly, I realized that I was turning it down because I did not have the confidence to be at the top, to be the one making the decisions. So it took me a while to realize that. And then when I realized that, I thought that my biggest motivation in taking on this job was, let me rewind here. So I've taught 2 hospitality classes to housewives. And after the classes, I would go around to different HR departments of the various hotels, organizing a job meet, a job matching event for the housewives and the hotels. And I would go around asking people a favor, to hire the housewives. And I remember thinking, it would be really great if somebody with a lot of money appeared in front of me and offered me a hotel to manage so I can, hire all the housewives I want. And suddenly, what I wanted is in front of me. Somebody actually showed up with 3 hotels and said, here, you can hire all the housewives you want.
You be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, exactly. And here I was turning it down. So I said, how stupid is this, right? So that's when I realized that I was just afraid. I was scared. So I took it on, and that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to pay it forward. So, Peter and Andrew gave me the opportunity. So I'm trying to give other women the opportunity. I'm trying to get their foot in the door.
So you're offering all the jobs to the housewives.
So the first thing that I did, the very first thing that I did after I got hired was hire another former housewife. Okay, so she took my hospitality class in 2018, and she had started working in the service team of one of the luxury hotels in Tokyo. So, she was cleaning rooms, she was doing check-in, check-out. So she's been doing that for 3 years. So when I accepted this job, the first thing that I said was, I'm hiring her. Okay, so if you want me, you need to hire her too. We come as a package. And this was non-negotiable. So she, and her weak point is she didn't have any management skills. And I was like, that's fine. She'll learn very quickly. So that's the first thing I did. I hired another housewife to be our operations manager. And it's perfect because she spent 12 years in China as an expat wife. And she was already working 3 years in a luxury hotel in Tokyo. So she knew what she was doing. She just did not have the management skills. So together we learned this. So so we started the two of us, and then we hired other housewives to work with us. And then we found, so it's all about reaching. I mean, most people, when they hire, they put up an ad in some paper somewhere or on the internet, but see, that's not the way we do it. We wanted to create a diverse team, and we wanted to reach out to people, to give people an opportunity to work in the hospitality industry. So we reached out to the children of Filipino Japanese couples, and we found two young women, lovely young women who spoke English, but whose Japanese were less than perfect. And because their Japanese was less than perfect, they, the only positions they could get were factory jobs. In fact, both of them were working they were packing lunches in a factory. And and they spoke English, and they're in their 20s. And I'm thinking, you're in your 20s and you speak English and you can use the computer, you have IT skills. What are you doing in the factory packing lunches, right? So we brought them on board. We gave them training with Opera, the reservation system, and they're now doing front desk work for us. So we also reached out to a single mother association, and we have a mother of 3 boys who's been working as a cashier for the last 7 years in a supermarket. And and she wanted something better for herself, so she applied. And we hired her on the spot because we knew exactly that, here she was, a cashier in a supermarket. At any given time, she probably had 20, 30 people lined up in front of her. So at the hotel, at the busy hotel, nothing phases her, because she's used to having 20, 30 people lined up in front of her.
So what you're actually doing is looking at the skills they possess and then training them in the hospitality business.
Exactly.
Instead of the other way around, that's more common. They look for the training and don't worry about the skills.
Yeah, but see, Carol, you have to understand, there's a labor shortage in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
So hotel workers are not going to come in a very nice box with a red ribbon around it. Okay, you need to train. Yeah. And that's what the two of us, former housewives, don't forget, we were moms, we were mothers, and that's where we're very good at. We can train.
And you were expat diplomatic wives.
Yes,
and
exactly.
The skills you learn in those positions, in that lifestyle, can be translated into hospitality.
Exactly.
You can't teach attitude and intelligence, but you can teach skills.
Yeah, so we're very good at spotting skills that we can convert to the hospitality industry.
So is this a process that you're going to continue looking for the right people?
I'm very proud to say that we hired 4 people for our new hotel, Conde East, in April. 2 of them are actually former housewives, former stay-at-home moms. Yeah, so we are a very, very diverse workforce.
Yes. And I bet you're getting a reputation for that already in Japan.
I think we're making a difference because, for example, so I strongly believe in sustainability. This is not a corporate thing for us. I mean, this is my lifestyle. I was carrying around a shopping bag 20 years ago, and I have the shopping bags to prove it. The stores no longer exist, but I still have the shopping bag. So I believe in sustainability. And another thing that I did the minute I became country manager was we eliminated bottled water at the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And this was a decision that this was something that I really fought for, because I think if you're not Japanese, people are just so used to buying bottled water, because I mean, there are many parts of the world where you cannot drink tap water.
Mm.
And Japan is one of the very few countries where you can actually turn on the tap and drink the water. So it's a matter of educating the travelers. So immediately we eliminated bottled water in the hotel rooms. And instead, we installed a water server called Mitsubishi Clean Sui. And we did this through a Maimizu. So there's a group in Tokyo called Maimizu that's promoting, tap water. So we partnered with them, and we now have a water server at every hotel we have, where we're filtering tap water so that guests can have water. So it's zero plastic bottles at our hotel. And regarding amenities, we've put everything at the front desk. So we encourage people to bring their own, otherwise to only take what they need. And we only clean your hotel rooms. We only clean hotel rooms twice a week. So that's right now it's every Mondays and Thursdays. So we don't do housekeeping every day. I mean, and I ask the guests, do you clean your home every day? I mean, do you change your sheets every day? It's very easy to do this every day. We just add it onto the price, but we don't, because we believe that it's a more sustainable way of doing things.
So you're focused on sustainability and employing people with skills,
exactly,
regardless of where they come from.
Yeah, we're very, very focused on doing the right thing.
So, I mean, to wrap things up, what advice would you give to those housewives who would like to get back into work?
I would say, don't be afraid to start from cleaning rooms, clearing tables, serving food, because that's just the first step. And then learn everything you can, and then move on, because the opportunity is there. But it's definitely not easy. So I would say that, you stick it out for at least 3 months, because on the first day, I mean, any job, your first day on the job, you probably will, 10 out of 10 things, you won't know anything. Okay.
And you'll probably hate it.
Yeah. But you show up for a week, and I guarantee you, 10 out of 10 things, you will know at least 1 or 2 things. You show up for another week, you will learn 1 or 2 things more. So by 3 months, 10 out of 10, you probably know 10.
So it's that constant process of just being open to learning.
Practice makes perfect.
Yes. And it's never too late to start.
Exactly. Yeah, don't forget, I started at 52. I'm turning 63 this year.
And how many hotels are you anticipating with Lof Hotels?
We're very, very aggressive. So right now we have 100 rooms. When Kanda East opens up, we have 100 rooms. In 5 years, we aim to have 5,000 rooms.
Whoa, that's quite a development.
Yeah, very aggressive.
And all around Japan?
5,000 rooms probably just in Tokyo.
Just in
That's
Tokyo.
the plan. Yeah, that's the plan right now.
And that's quite a workforce you're going to need.
Yeah, that's why I say, I tell people that we're always looking for ways to help people. We're always saying we want to support single mothers. And I tell people that I've made it very easy for you to support single moms. All you need to do is to come and stay at the Lof Hotel, and you are supporting a couple of single moms.
That's a fantastic tagline. Cynthia, it's been inspirational talking to you. And thank you so much for this. It really is a story to tell.
Thank you so much, Carol.
And we look forward to
seeing you again.
Yeah, we look forward to following the progress.
Yes, thank you. And don't forget, come and stay at the Lof Hotel, and you'll be helping someone.
As soon as the borders open and we're allowed in again.
Yes, definitely. I'm expecting to see you.
Thank you very much. Very nice to
Thank
talk
you.
to you, Cynthia. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Good night.